Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Slippery Slopes podcast, and thank you for joining us this Sunday and investing your valuable time with us and not somewhere else. And today we have something very important to share. I mean, it's there out for everyone, but again, this needs to be
it's there out of everyone, but even if it's not, it might.
It might. Yes.
That's the nature of the topic we're about to discuss.
It might be there, but you don't know. Nobody knows. So the topic is Pegasus, the spyware. Cheers to NSO group. So
Fucking Israelis
gave a spyware that is in your mobile phone, that can be in your mobile phone, and you don't know about it, even if it's an iPhone. And they can actually read all of your data. They can actually, put out your data for up for sale. That's pretty normal. But they can actually act as you and send messages from your phone without you knowing. So how fucked up it is.
Very, very, very fucked up. So basically, this discussion has started again. Pegasus has been there around for I don't know how many years. I mean, Edward Snowden was screaming back in 2014 and 13. So, and guess what? He has to live in exile for the rest of his life. Even though it was proved last year that he was right, he still has to live in exile. So, I mean, he was speaking about this back 6-7 years. Right now, what has happened is, this is a worldwide news, but the reason it has, taken the momentum in India is because The Wire, your beloved news publishing company, The Wire happened to be collaborating with 16 other organizations, and they have come up with and found out and given a list of Indians who were being tracked using this software. By who? We don't know. We know who are the likely criminals, but by who we really don't know. And there's no way to know, because Pegasus won't obviously give that information to anyone. I mean, they are in your phones. Why would they be like, okay, these were the ones who asked me to do it. He made me do it, blame the night. They won't do that. So there's no way to actually know, and there's no way to have a phone say infected by a Pegasus spyware. I was reading about this. So using that phone, you can't find out where that information was going. There's no way.
There is no way. I mean, this was developed by Israelis, of course, one of the most capable on war field and on cybercrime, cyber war as well.
The Germans created a beast.
Yeah, and we call them Israel. So Pegasus is actually capable of reading your text messages, tracking your phone calls, collecting passwords, location tracking. It can actually develop a heat map of your daily routine. I mean, we all know what a heat map is, and
I don't know what
heat map is. Heat map is a map. Let's assume there is this blueprint of your house, right? So with Pegasus, you are on a constant one place, right? So that place will be marked as red, and the way you travel,
where you are the most will be red,
and the way and the place where you are like mild,
like a player on a football field.
Yeah, that's yellow, and the places that you visit less often, that's green.
Yeah.
So it can actually develop a heat map for the infected. And
I mean, I was watching a video. So if two phones who are infected with this malware, if they come near each other, let's say two journalists
like us, we don't know, but one day if this breaks out,
I mean, we are broadcasting this out. If you are using Pegasus to find this information out, you are dumb. This is on YouTube
for free. Pegasus would have costed you millions of dollars.
So if let's say two journalists are meeting each other, they're covering a story, they're working towards something. So if two Pegasus spyware infected phones come near each other, it would send an alert. Okay, these two are meeting. If two phones which are infected by the Pegasus spyware, they switch off and they were near each other, notification will be sent that they're meeting or something is happening. This
Wow.
is and also their latitude, longitude, their location will be also sent. That they are here, they're meeting, they're doing something. It's fucking crazy.
That is eavesdrop on an exceptional level. I mean, this can't be done so easy. I mean, Israel have brilliant brains, man. I mean, I have to give it to
this
them.
is Nigeria on steroids.
I mean, you guys have so brilliant.
I mean, China who? Russia who?
Israel, yes.
This is the most Jewish thing ever. I mean, Jewish people are known for their business acumen. They created a fucking ingenious spyware which can help you eavesdrop, and they didn't use it. They sold it. Like, this is the most Jewish thing ever. This is what a Gujarati would do in India. मतलब हमने बनाया है. This could help us a lot. Why don't we give it to all of them and take money for it?
Yeah.
Profit everywhere.
So, I mean, the spyware is so powerful that, your battery doesn't get affected by it. I mean, of course, if an additional program is running on your phone 24 hours a day and sending out location, that might have an impact on your
laptop.
Battery. Yeah, my laptop was once trapped with a Bitcoin miner, and it was pretty pathetic because the battery used to run out like in 15 minutes. But since the miner is gone, because of Avast free antivirus.
Yeah, I am glad you didn't say McAfee because
bro, my McAfee, it is yesterday I got an SMS that your McAfee membership is expiring. Today I logged on to my computer and my McAfee is already being corrupted. I don't know what happened. I mean, it's corrupted since like
John McAfee just died a few days ago in a Spanish prison. So
yeah, no, I mean from past 3-4 months my antivirus is doing shit. I mean, McAfee shit to you. It's doing nothing.
Yeah, their founder died, man. They're out of service for a while.
Yeah.
their founder was in a prison. So, you should have gone to something else.
I don't know, but I'll try something else. But again, so this virus, when it's inside your phone, it's working 24/7, right?
Yeah.
It is there. It is sending out location, sending out all the data. So there is this transaction.
It's not even it's not about sending. You can go there, take whatever you want.
Yeah,
it's
like it's an open gate to your phone,
Yeah,
mobile phone. No matter your iOS, your Android, your Linux, I don't know. But yeah, so the battery effect of this virus is so efficient that users somehow, people infected with Pegasus, they somehow fail to recognize that
there's no way to know.
And even if a like, let's just take an example, like if a program is 24/7 running in your phone might get heated up a little bit. Like
I mean, something would happen.
Something would happen.
I mean,
so virtually no physical physical change in your mobile phone, and heating up.
There's this movie.
It doesn't happen.
We were speaking about this off here. The Dissident. So in the movie they explained how this works, like how a Pegasus spyware comes into your phone.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Dissident abhi thodi der mein, but so basically it was like there will be a notification on your phone, just a normal notification, something related to an app that you have on the phone, not going to a site, your incognito, something pops up, not that. This is not that, because and it's even harder for that to come in your iPhone. iPhone is supremely safe when it comes to that. It'll be a notification, just normal, any app. But it won't be. So what will happen is, even if you click it, it's installed already. So now you can't do. Now you have to burn your phone.
Wow.
And it's very authentic the way it looks. So it's very hard to recognize. I mean, we talking about it, someone might just watch this and have Pegasus on our phones. I mean, there's no way to know. I mean, Kellam sir throwing his phone after Chelam sir throwing his phone after every call is the only way to.
I mean, he uses a button phone.
Yeah, so that is the only way.
That's how Taliban works. So that's how top people work.
That's the only way, because if you have the spyware on your phone, there's no way there's no walking around it.
Yeah.
It'll be, and the thing is, you won't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Pegasus has been used by Mexican drug cartels.
Pegasus has been used by Saudi Arabian government.
Yeah.
This is not about cartels.
Yeah.
Pegasus doesn't give out, I mean, the NSO group, very proudly proclaims that we don't give this to anyone, just anyone. We give this to vetted governments. Great. Motherfuckers, great. Very good on you. Like, how is this something to be proud of? Like, oh, we do this moral thing. We let governments spy on their people.
We know what people are thinking.
Our moral compass is sorted. What is this?
अपन धंधा करने आए, अपन धंधा करके जाएंगे.
I did business. Like,
this is business.
What is this? What is this? This is business.
So, very notable thing to note here is like the people who were on the list that were being tracked. Prashant Kishore,
Yeah.
we know genius of a man, helped a lot of governments win a lot of elections.
Yeah.
And this is not just AAP, he helped the BJP, he has helped Aam Aadmi Party.
Aam Aadmi Party.
So he's almost a prerequisite to win an election or a state election. Like, we've seen what the man can do, and it's genius.
Yeah.
You notice the difference in how a party approaches an election.
Yeah.
He said that whatever I did, every phone of mine got the spyware. I tried throwing my phone multiple times, but it just kept coming back. This is his statement after this has come out.
Yeah.
Ashok Lavasa, former election commissioner of India. I mean, if that doesn't scare you.
I mean, these are top people.
Two sitting members of the current government, the BJP government, 2 cabinet ministers, virologists and scientists. What the fuck do you want to know about from them?
I mean, I do believe that now if we talk about, the profiles that the virus is targeting, I personally feel that there is some international, it won't be someone from the inside doing this, but someone from the outside doing it.
So 2 virologists, virologists and scientists.
Scientists, yeah.
40 journalists,
Yeah.
independent and like from smaller organizations,
Yeah.
who not top profile journalists,
Yeah.
but journalists who are like actually doing the work, who are going out there and doing all that.
Yeah.
So like potential threats, not the top dogs. And
Right.
very interesting, Rahul Gandhi.
उससे क्या चाहिए यार तुम्हें?
मजा आया.
I want to know, like, who wanted to confirm whether he watches Chhota Bheem or not? Like, did you find out? We want to know what you found out from Rahul Gandhi's phone.
I mean, tracking Rahul Gandhi is the last thing that I'll ever do. If I have tomorrow morning,
Very interesting.
NSO Groups calls me up and says, "Hey man, you need this Pegasus, yeah, one free trial, 30 days. What do you say?" I say, "Okay." Rahul Gandhi. नहीं यार तू मतलब राहुल गांधी क्यों बोल रहा है मुझे नहीं करना मुझे
Who wanted to track Rahul Gandhi's phone? That was my favorite part of the whole list. I was like, okay, this is very dangerous. Also, we'll come back to this. Unbelievably interesting.
Yeah.
The person who accused former CJI Ranjan Gogoi of sexual harassment,
Yeah.
the case she lost,
Yeah.
obviously. Her phone and 11 of her family members' phones were also on the list.
Is this list?
So,
I mean, like, how do you validate the list?
I mean, this is like 16, along with The Wire and 16 other media houses, organizations who have, I don't know, I was reading about this. So, they have collaborated and found out, this is not just India, these are the people amongst all of the people around the world that
Yeah.
this list is comprised of, but these are all the Indians that are on the list. So, I mean, why is she on the list? Why is her family members on the list?
Yeah.
She lost the case. And then one of the judges in the Supreme Court also has his name on the list. The interesting part is the government's new IT minister,
Yeah.
he basically denied. Like, abhi baat ho rahi hai ki who done it, who did it, and he basically denied that this is just to criticize us and ye wo. Turns out his name is on the list. Motherfucker. What do you say now? His name is on the list. So what are you denying? So this is further proof that you just don't know. Like, you just had no way to know.
I mean, I do, get a point that, high profile targets should be there for a virus that is this sophisticated and, how it works.
And
but I mean, yeah. Okay, so we're talking about high profile targets right now. But again, so targeting 11 family members of someone who lost a case against CGI, and then hearing about local journalists. Not any top profile journalists were
Some of them
So
were.
did these guys actually validate? Yes, that we feel that our mobile phones.
I mean, you don't take the word of Rahul Gandhi. Okay,
Nah,
I agree.
Just nobody.
Okay,
Even his party doesn't.
So I
take
agree that you don't take, but you take the word of Prashant Kishore.
Somewhat.
You take the word. I mean, he's been there.
I mean,
he's done that.
I don't take their words as one direct line that if Prashant Kishore is saying, maybe Earth is flat.
The interesting part about this is, it's not just the opposition who's been tracked. 2 ministers in the government are on the list.
Yeah, that's what makes it pretty much doubtful that someone from the international nexus, not blaming the government for literally everything.
The interesting thing is obviously we are supposed to ask who did this. I mean, who are we supposed to ask? The government.
Yeah.
If there are top profile people who are very important and doing some very important work,
yeah.
If they are being tracked inside the country, who are we supposed to ask? The government. The government is basically like, we didn't do it. I mean, who did it then? Tell us.
I mean, yeah, the intelligence should have released a statement by now. I mean, for normal general public as well.
So the government, as of yet, on what is the date today?
It is 25th of July.
So as of 25th July, hasn't given out an official statement that the government of India didn't have a part in this. Yeah. Ravi Shankar Prasad has basically said this is a ploy. International ploy to defame the current government. So basically he has said that. Obviously current IT minister said he's on the list. Amit Shah also came up with a chronology joke. कि मेरा नाम इसमें use होता है, but आप chronology समझिए that the monsoon parliament session has started and now this news has come out.
Yeah.
But they haven't denied. We didn't do this. We didn't do this. And even if they do, even if they give out a statement, we didn't do this. So find out who did this. This is very serious. I mean, one thing that our government isn't tracking these guys.
Yeah.
But some government is.
I believe that the NSO group won't be 100% honest with who they are actually selling the virus and who they are not. So vetted governments, I just don't believe that they're only selling it to vetted governments. I do believe that they would be selling it to big, let's just say, a big capitalist or something like that. I mean, people when they are at top, when they are so high profile, when they have achieved, money is not the the apex.
The thing is, who are
the
people who have the most power and want control over the people?
Jeff Bezos.
Government. Jeff Bezos has. I mean, Jeff Bezos has Prime installed in all of our phones.
Exactly.
So he doesn't need Pegasus. His phone was corrupted with Pegasus. Who is he to say anything?
Is it?
Mohammed bin Salman used Pegasus to spy on Jeff Bezos and his chats were leaked. Chats with his wife.
Yeah.
Now ex-wife. I mean, this is during the Jamal Kashoggi case.
Even Ahmed Mansoor.
Who is Jeff Bezos to say? His phone was corrupted. And he didn't even know.
How? I mean, right now, I'm so curious that I want Pegasus on my phone.
You won't know. You won't know.
On the second hand, I'm like, nahi yaar, don't take me. Like, for once, okay, so if you, it's an expensive virus, right? Nobody would spend that ton of money on me to get to know
the biggest, greatest time waste of your life.
Yeah. So, who am I texting or who am I sleeping with? No, they don't want to do that. But the point here is, I really want to see what happens. I use an iPhone and Pegasus is basically targeting all the big iOS giants.
They have iPhones on their hands.
Yeah, they have iPhones on their hands.
Nobody's using a Nokia phone.
Yeah.
So Nokia is
I mean, to hack an Android, it's not that of a rocket science that you need millions of dollars of a virus. But to hack an iOS device, you definitely need something sort of Pegasus or of equal level. I mean, it's a benchmark.
The thing is, Pegasus is not just watching what you do. It's the argument that a lot of people will give right now is अगर छुपाने के लिए नहीं है तो डरना किस बात का? This kind of a thing.
It's a very transparent.
Someone can use Pegasus while you're sleeping. They can hack your phone. If your phone is infected with the spyware, you'll be sleeping. Someone can go in there, text someone something.
Yeah.
and basically plant an evidence against you while you don't even know. And that evidence can be taken to the court.
And that's fucked up.
So even if you don't have anything to hide, they will give you something to hide. And you won't even know about it. So that is what Pegasus can do. I mean, Israelis, I'm just so impressed.
Sapiosexual people here, and we are definitely impressed by your intelligence.
I am so impressed.
Sophistication of Pegasus is one thing, like targeting of high-profile people or low-profile people, that's another thing. But taking this software and like how you can plot a global unrest with a software like this, a global unrest. I mean, it's huge. I mean, there are so many powerful people who approve of so many powerful things, and one wrong step or one exploited move from someone that you don't even know and you can never know, but the organization that created this fucking spyware. Right, NSO.
Nobody does anything about it.
Nobody does anything about it, and a global unrest happens.
And this is the most interesting part. Is like we were talking about this as well. The influence that Israel has over the world. It's unbelievable. I mean,
this
on a world map. Like the thing happened when Israel-Palestine erupted a few days ago, a few months ago, during the Hamas scene. Every country in the world seemed like we stand with Israel.
Yeah.
Like there was a hashtag India stands with Israel.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a
there was a hashtag with that.
There was a hashtag on Twitter.
People.
So India stands with Israel. Nobody knows anything about the issue at all, but they say India stands with Israel. So this is the kind of influence, this is the kind of relationship and ploys that Israel has used over the years.
Yeah.
And nobody gives a fuck about the Palestinians. I mean...
there was a hashtag India stands with Palestine.
I mean, compare that to the Indian stands with Israel hashtag.
So there were 3 hashtags now. I was on Twitter one day and I saw India stands with Israel was on top. India stands with Interstein was second.
What?
India stands with Interstein.
Interstein क्या है?
Big and small.
Intestine?
Then India stands with Palestine was third.
Oh my god.
So the middle one was the best one out of all 3 and it had all the memes.
Oh my god.
So it was pretty funny. But again, so the effect that Israel... in the beginning of this episode, I just said that they are like... They're so sophisticated with their war machines as well that Israel has that knowledge of guns. So Israel has this gun that bends over a corner and shoots. Your gun bending over a corner and shoots and you not even peeking. So that's
like a periscope.
Like a periscope. You see and you shoot. I mean, you don't even look the opponent. I mean, that's huge in itself. That's Pegasus of warfare right there.
This is cyber. This is not even cyber attack. This is cyber espionage.
Yeah.
Like, you can go in to anyone you want to.
Yeah.
Any phone you want, any personality you want, and just go in there and hack it. I mean, the thing is like the government saying we didn't do it. They haven't said it, by the way. But even if they do, you have a big reason to worry. Because if you didn't do it, someone did.
And
someone used that malware.
And someone is literally more powerful than you.
So someone might even come and hack Narendra Modi's phone. And nobody would know. So even if you didn't do it, do something about it. I mean, aren't you worried then? I mean, if you didn't do it, then you should be worried that someone is doing this.
Yeah. And I mean, Apples and Androids, like, those are 2 different worlds. But again, there is this way of Pegasus infecting your phone is with a 0-click. I mean, there is, like, I was just reading a few years back. iMessage, a 0-click iMessage pops up. And I mean, it's 100%.
It looks very authentic.
Very authentic, yeah. I mean, if you just tap to it, then it's in your phone, right?
Yeah, it's in your phone and now
now
you're being broadcasted. It's basically that. And this was shown, if you haven't watched Dissident, I understand, because it's not on any streaming services. It was too volatile for streaming services. So, but it showed how this can happen, how they can do it. It's really a different kind of a problem. It's very 21st century problem because we have
we need Doraemon for that.
But Yuval Noah Harari, in his book 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, he talks about this. He says, I mean, who's to stop? He's an Israeli. Yuval Noah Harari is a Hebrew professor of history. So that's what he talks about. Like, this is the future. This is it. Like, I mean, there's no walking around this. And we, as someone who are not victims of this attack, because we're just not that important.
Yeah.
But who do we complain to? I mean, who are we supposed to complain to? And who is supposed to look into this?
It's pretty tough, you know.
Is the government supposed to look into this? The government might have done it. If the government hasn't, will the government do an investigation?
They will, and they should.
Where do they do?
They should.
I mean, the opposition is asking for a joint parliamentary investigation, independent.
Yeah.
And whatever you say about the opposition, that's a good thing to ask for. It's completely understandable. Because that's the only way we can get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
But
you really don't need opposition for that. I mean, it can be done by the government itself.
I mean, a lot of opposition ministers were the target. The thing is that either the Indian government did it, or someone else from the outside, some government from the outside, as NSO claims, did it.
Yeah.
So who are we supposed to look up to?
NSO. I mean, why
we ask NSO, okay.
Why
You've created this ingenious piece of technology.
Why aren't we fucking bombing their office right now?
Because Israel is a diplomatic genius. We were talking about this. Abby Martin came on Joe Rogan's podcast. She's been on his podcast for a long time now. She basically is an independent journalist. She covers the Israel-Palestine war. She covered Russia and what Russia is doing to Crimea.
Yeah.
She spoke about this, like, right now 30 states in the US have a legislation that if you're a government-funded body, say an educational institute or a news group, you cannot speak ill of the Israelis or what the Israeli government is doing.
Wow. That's the impact.
What the fuck is this about? She won a case. I mean, so basically what happened was she was invited to a college to give a talk.
Yeah.
And she said, I wasn't even going to talk about Israel.
Yeah.
I was just going there to give a talk.
Yeah.
And they told me that this is something you cannot do. So she won the case, and now the legislation has changed a little bit. They basically amended it. But what the fuck is this about? This is the kind of impact that Israel has over the United States of America. Yeah. And the United States of America is friends with Israel because Israel gives them a very important geopolitical friend in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And they're not friends with the Saudis, they're not friends with Iran, they're not friends with Iraq. Israel is the only ally they have there. So that is why this back and forth is going on. I mean, Obama was involved in this. And then Trump did this, and then Biden is doing this. So this is the guy. I mean, how does India stand with Israel top the Twitter trend? Indians don't give a fuck about this. How does this happen? Do you really think that so many Indians are concerned about the Israeli-Palestine war that it trended at number 1?
I mean, some of the narrative where Israel stands and how it got popular was, when a war takes place, you definitely see, you see like who hit who first. So it was the bombing that happened first on Israel. So Israel did a revolt, they reverted back. So then everybody
this was very clear. What happened was that Ramadan season was going on and
Israel got bombed
so
first.
Hamas is the side in conflict.
Yeah.
Israeli thinks that it's a Jewish temple, synagogue, and Muslims obviously they say it's a mosque. And Hamas is currently a mosque, by the way. So they're going there to pray. And basically what Israeli officials, Israeli officers do is block it.
Yeah.
They say no fucking way, you're not entering this. And a lot of people, I mean, there was this riot of sorts, and then people got killed. Palestinians got killed.
Yeah.
And that started it. And then, I mean, we both of us know that if Israel and Palestine go to war, who is the more powerful?
Of course, Israel, man. I mean,
and it showed. I mean, Palestine was throwing, I don't know, fire balloons. They were attacking them with like balloons.
Yeah.
And Israel was shooting them down with missiles. And then throwing missiles inside of Palestine. I mean, Abby Martin has a YouTube documentary, 1 hour, 30-minute documentary covering the war. And what Palestinians... I mean, we have seen the map over the years.
Yeah.
What was Palestine before and what it is now. It's basically not a country anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even recognized. Is it recognized by UN still?
I don't know.
I mean, do they even have a seat in the UN?
I don't know. And this is the interesting part is what happens is basically Israeli government, what they do is after a point of time, they have fixed a ratio that this is the amount of Palestinians or this is the amount of Israelis that are compulsory in the region.
That's an intelligent move.
So,
I mean,
no. The way it works is, she was talking about it, the way it works is, they cover an area, basically go there and cover it.
Yeah.
Say Palestinians are living there. So the ratio gets messed up.
Yeah.
So what do they do about it? They basically enter a Palestinian's home.
Yeah.
This is our house now. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And they don't have a choice. So someone basically enters their house and says, mine. Go away. And you're supposed to leave. This is what happens regularly right now in Palestine. It's unbelievable to hear. Like, imagine if someone entered this house and said like the communist Bugs Bunny meme, our house. So, what do you say when you see that? I mean, think about it.
It's pretty messed up between Israel and Palestine, but again, coming to the fact that Netanyahu and his team... I saw their BBC morning show. I saw their,
Netanyahu got removed just recently.
Yeah. But again, he was a genius. I mean, I saw his interview with BBC
war criminal
Good Mornings.
By a lot of international
like, you call him a war criminal or not, but this doesn't undermine his genius of what he was doing and how diplomatically he used to keep himself correct all the time.
Obviously, and Israel has been this little brother of every powerful country over the years.
Yeah, Russia backs Israel so much.
Russia and America, both.
They both back Israel.
It's unbelievable. And this is what they do.
If Israel, a country that's the size of northern India, I mean, if that country has two superpowers behind it now.
India as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you have Russia, you have USA and you have India on your side, I mean, you don't need to fear anyone. I mean, who the fuck are you fearing? I mean, go conquer the world, do anything that you'd like to do.
And imagine, so this is what happens. So, I mean, it's very clear in the way our government and our media houses have reacted to the whole Pegasus thing.
It's
very evident.
The narrative was pretty clear.
Nobody's talking about it.
No, I mean, they were talking about it, but Israel was always there on the greener side. That, Israel is good.
Not about the war.
Yeah.
This Pegasus had.
Yeah.
Nobody's... Like, I want to see what Republic TV is covering right now. Not Pegasus. For some reason.
I somewhat wished
for some reason.
Yeah, they're not covering it, yeah.
No media... all I watched while reading about this was Faye D'Souza, independent journalists, of course the Wire, because they were the ones involved in it. So, where is India today now? Where is Z News? Where is Republic TV? Where are these guys?
I mean,
why is the government mute? I mean, let's say a report came out that China was covering. China had a software.
Yeah.
Chinese company had a software which it sold to some government.
Yeah.
Whether Indian or whether international. And they are spying on Indian journalists and Indian politicians. We would go fucking crazy. We would lose it. The news would lose it. The government would ban TikTok. But no one is doing anything. The reaction is so muted. I mean, this should be on national television. We should be on the roads.
You know what? Yeah, okay. So you want to be on roads. That's one thing. I mean, but to create a public panic, that's not the best interest of any government, despite of the ideology.
But imagine if China was behind this. What would be? Would the reaction be this muted?
Even if the Chinese would have been behind it, simple steps would have taken so that a public panic wouldn't cause it much. So banning of Chinese app, that was a threat. I mean, literally, United States of America said Huawei to go fuck themselves.
United States.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing.
So that's interesting, right?
Now, Huawei cannot use Android because that's an American company.
They've created their own.
They've created their own OS. I mean, they've created their own app. Please do whatever the fuck you want to do, but Huawei doesn't enter United States of America. Now, that's one reaction to it. So this didn't cause any public panic. Like, they didn't want to be on roads, right? I mean, you don't see people protesting why Huawei, why this or why that. I mean, we were getting spied by Huawei. So you don't want that to happen.
Interesting part is this, like US banned Huawei in a second. Like they did that
fraction of a
in a fraction of a second. No Huawei. Jeff Bezos' phone was hacked.
Yeah.
A lot of US
Mohammed bin Salman.
Yeah. Nothing happened because it's Saudi Arabia's. You want the oil. Nothing happened. US knows a lot of top officials are being spied by the Pegasus spyware. Nothing happened.
Exactly. That's because I mean, they work upon it and they might retaliate in a manner that should not be made public because, sometimes top secret informations are on the line. I mean, if you are a spy, just imagine if you are a spy, right, with, let's just say you are you're from India, right, and you go to spy, let's just say Ukraine, for instance. It's a random example. So you go to Ukraine and
South Russia.
So you're in Ukraine and you're an Indian spy, right? And you're there. So there is Pegasus on your phone, right? And we also have Geneva Treaty signed by all countries that no killing of spies would be there because it's not your personal conflict, but it's country's conflict. So teko nahi marenge. But हाँ तेरी country को हम तेको punish कर देंगे थोड़ा बहुत, ठीक है? And we'll extradite you and so on and so forth. So a lot of your personal information is at stake. If I tell my people that our spy Paarug Sethi, his phone is hacked, and now all of your vulnerabilities, your family safety, your personal life, they all will get at stake. I mean, you would have been a family man. You would have kids by now, and I mean and for the rest of their lives, it will have a trickle down effect.
I mean,
so making it public.
I mean, I
would
understand
be a very fucking bad choice.
Any government doesn't want panic in the streets.
Exactly.
But if the former election commissioner of India can get his phone hacked by a Pegasus software malware,
so
this is a topic of grave panic, because if he can get hacked, we are fucked definitely.
I mean, okay, so let's keep a point here that a lot of people are there. So let's assume there is a line of people from very important to least important, right? And then there is this person who chooses a very important person over the least important person. So when you figure out the masses, so there are 80% or 85% of the people are least important, whereas the remaining 15% is the most important people. So for the general masses of the public, nobody would spend millions of dollars to spread the spyware so much.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is they can, but the money it requires, the infrastructure it requires, I mean, it can happen. It can happen with a cheap app like, if Israel woke up tomorrow and chose violence.
I mean, it's
so the thing is, no one is stopping them. Our phones will be tapped, and
they're still tapped.
The thing is,
you don't know.
What I believe happened was, even if when the news broke out, do you not think someone from Israel contacted the government, anyone in the top tiers of the government, and said, don't talk about this as you normally would, because we don't want this. I mean, this would be very, very normal if it happened, because the government's reaction is very muted. to this?
I mean, yeah. So one reason of why what I'm thinking right now is why nobody wants to mess with Israel is the greatest competitive knowledge that they have over us is their knowledge.
Exactly, that is the point. I mean, because say Arnab Goswami is shouting on national
Republic
television.
TV, yeah.
He'll get his phone hacked the next day. Guess what? So he doesn't want that. And I'm sure Arnab Goswami has contacts in the government, for sure.
Yeah.
He's a top-notch journalist in the top tiers of journalism.
Yeah.
Someone would have said something to him. For sure. Because if Arnab is not covering this news as loudly, no one will. Because this is against the whole agenda of our nation, our country.
So, that's what makes it more vulnerable for these individuals because a lot of their personal information is at stake.
Exactly. So someone advised them, don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't give like, we're concerned about your privacy.
Yeah.
You better not speak against us. Not this. They would have said, we advise you that you better not speak about this. Otherwise,
they'll come for you. They'll come for you.
And you won't have anything to fall back on. And we'll open your phone to the public.
Yeah, and this is a good point, and this is why people don't want to be on streets. I mean, if I revolt about Pegasus tomorrow, okay, so we both are ranting, right? And yeah, so
go figure. Go figure my phone.
Yeah,
Let me see what you find.
Please help me with some of my text game. Please, I'm pretty sucky at it, but please, I need help.
I want to know what I'm supposed to hide.
Right, there is my phone. Please get into this phone and help me with my text game. Please, I'm struggling. So again, coming back to the point now, what I was saying, fuck. Yeah, so coming back to the point, if they would have created, a revolt, or let's just say that, I'm Arnab Goswami and I know what my reach is and how big of a person I am and what stories I cover, how big they go out. So I start plotting it, that I want my, let's just say, junior journalist with a time slot that is pretty off to cover this topic and see what public reacts to it. TRP, VRP kaisi aati hai, and then we'll slowly shift it to prime time. So I plot that. Okay. So with that plotting happening, someone somewhere would leak that out, or from the government would get to know that, and definitely the Pegasus will come to Arnab in the end. Now Arnab don't want this to happen to himself, or I guess to anybody. I don't know about anybody, but he certainly wants himself to be a target of Pegasus. So the retaliation to Pegasus is simple. You don't talk about it, you don't get to it.
Exactly. And the thing is, that is what I'm saying. Like, someone must have advised them. Because Arnab, in a normal situation, would wreak havoc.
Yeah, would wreak havoc. He would call his balls out on the TV.
Because this is exactly the kind of topic that he likes covering.
Yeah.
Who is spying on the phone? I mean, I can imagine him doing that.
With the theatrics involved. And,
the fact that he's muted.
He's passionate. He's a very passionate journalist.
I mean, someone would say
it's not just Arnab. It's everyone.
It's these big media houses.
It's Sudhir Chaudhary. It's Rajat Sharma. It's everyone.
And so these guys shout on the TV every day of the week about something or the other. Someone targeting Indians or the other. Someone targeting the Indian government. I mean, talk about two people in the cabinet were on the list.
Yeah.
You're not talking about that. Why? Because you don't want yourself to be on the list, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this can have two interpretations. Either the government is involved. I mean, either they ordered it. So they're like, no, fuck no. You're not covering this. Shut up.
Yeah.
Or the government doesn't have a clue. And they are shocked. And they're like, we are not supposed to talk about this.
Yeah.
And you better not talk about this. So let's just play safe and be on one side.
Yeah. I mean, in today's time, to counter Pegasus, just like you said previously, that, opposition and the current ruling government should come together in the monsoon parliament session and...
Provided the government isn't involved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty affirmative about it. I mean,
They haven't
they haven't
I was
explicitly given out a statement yet.
say like we're supposed to look into this.
I mean, let's look. Okay, so let's keep it this way. Like, so we live in a country, right, which we know that the government has control over our individual lives. Okay, so if Modi gives out a speech tomorrow morning, it will have an impact not just on my political opinion but on my personal life as well. In India, politics is pretty much emotionally attached, okay? Because there is a lot of theatrics involved. बहुत गंदी politics में they involve religion. That's very sucky, but okay, it is what it is, and we need to deal with it. So there is this emotional string attached, right? So if tomorrow, government releases a statement that the general public of Republic of India should not fear Pegasus, these are the things they should follow. Update your software, install the latest version of antivirus, and do this, do that. This will create a outburst. I mean, if you're getting my point, I mean, people would straight out panic a lot. So for government to give an explicit statement, okay, so we are not involved, but okay, we are scared.
No, not just scared. People are targeting. I mean, you're the government of India.
I mean, yeah, you have the right to protect. I mean, even if a German journalist.
The interesting thing is like the group who made the spyware is saying that we only offer this to governments. So that group is saying that we only offer this to governments.
Yeah.
Any logical person would look up to the current government. Like, what happened? What is this? What is going on? We want to know. So, not just saying that this is a ploy against us, or look at the time where this news has come out. I mean, it's an international news. Do you really think that they plotted this around the monsoon season of the parliament? I mean, if you haven't done anything wrong, come out and. I mean, I was expecting if the government isn't involved, they're supposed to at least say like, don't cause mistrust, like trust us.
Yeah.
Like, we're looking into this. We were not involved, but we are looking into this, and we'll join hands and get to the bottom of this. This is an infringement on the democratic rights of people of the country.
Yeah.
And we are not okay with this.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're still your citizens.
Yeah. So you have to do something.
They're still your people. 2
of them are your cabinet ministers.
Yeah. I mean, the retaliation should be there, but
there's
my
Rahul
opinion,
Gandhi, yaar.
No.
This is a matter of grave concern.
We have Rahul Gandhi on the line, our nation's biggest asset. He's on the line, who is depreciating in value because of this. One of the main things while I found out while researching upon Pegasus and reading about it was that iMessage app was used to mainly target, as we said. Okay, so
WhatsApp as well.
A WhatsApp notification or an iMessage.
People would still won't use Signal.
Yeah,
still won't use
Signal. They're stubborn fucks. They won't. But again, so why not also put our fingers towards companies that are built on the total value of privacy? I mean, I really want Apple to give out a statement because I have an Apple product, and that's because of the privacy that they offer. And again, how can a virus like Pegasus infiltrate my privacy? Because the sole reason I got your product was security.
The thing with the spyware is like it doesn't use iOS message. It basically sends
a notification
which looks like a message.
iMessage notification.
So they clone that, and it looks very authentic, and you click it, and the virus is in you. What they can do with that is send text messages and send WhatsApp messages. So iOS is pretty safe when it comes to Pegasus using it to manipulate anything.
No. I mean, the point here is that
what I have read
there was some way for Pegasus to find its way into iOS, right? Into iOS ecosystem, and there was some way for Pegasus to send out a notification. If the security was strong enough, if my...
No, what I have read is basically either text messages or WhatsApp. I haven't read iMessage.
No,
and I haven't found out Telegram or Signal as well.
I've seen like Pegasus through Apple's default. Like there is this article with Indian Express right now. So all devices, practically iPhones, have been widely targeted with Pegasus through Apple's default iMessage app and push notification service protocol upon which it is based. So the spyware can impersonate an application, download it to an iPhone and transmit itself as push notifications via Apple's servers. So this is the Indian Express telling us, okay, so Apple, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, I bought your phone for the sole purpose of me being, more secure on the internet that is full of vulnerabilities, right? So I need people to point their fingers to this big corporation as well, because it's just not, if you look onto the broader spectrum of it, people using iPhones, people using, Androids, we need to point our fingers towards Google as well.
People using Android.
I mean, yeah, you guys are already fucked up with your Play Store, with your love calculator, with your
people using Android are like people walking without a mask.
Yeah.
Basically, you're out there to catch the virus, so you better not worry about this.
Okay, so I had this incident back in my high school. So there was this guy. 12th grade, yeah. So back in day, there was this guy in my tuition. So he had this phone and he was not very, tech savvy. And so I just said, he used to always complain, bro, my Android always keeps hanging. So even I was an Android user back then. So I said, bro, your phone is pretty outdated and you need more RAM. So what he did was, next day he installed an app. The app name was 2GB RAM. I installed 2GB RAM now. It is still hanging. What's wrong? I said, no buddy, no. He installed an app called 2GB.
This is what happens when you use 100% of your brain.
I mean, the developers, that's already more powerful than Pegasus already. That 2GB RAM virus is already more powerful than Pegasus.
This is humans of 2021.
No, this was back in 2019, but okay, so
future of the nation.
Yeah.
This is what we are.
2GB RAM install kar li, Play Store. So I mean, Androids, okay, so let's not talk about that. They are good, but not safety level. They don't actually match the benchmark. But again, we need to point fingers out on these corporates as well, big giants, because there is also an Android version of Pegasus, and again, we did not need to have that, but again, we have an Android version of Pegasus. And okay, so why Google? Let me frame a question in this way: that Google, I bought your product. Google says, oh yes, we are happy to have you on board. Okay, Google, I'm a high-profile celebrity who has very important decisions in life. Google says, okay, so we'll treat you as our...
Why did you use us?
No,
next question.
Google says, okay, I'll treat you as my already average consumer base, and I don't, mistreat or, do any... special treatment for you, but okay, my privacy, my security is up to date. Okay, so one day, I get targeted with a Pegasus-like software, and I ask, Google, what the fuck went wrong with you? My privacy was in your hands and you let it happen.
Google says, tell us when you find out. We would like to know.
Exactly. That's okay. So let's question not just governments, but again, Google, what the fuck? I mean,
the thing is, when you are buying a smartphone, you know that you're susceptible to hacks. iPhone is the best you can do.
Yeah.
In terms of safety. It's like buying a Volvo.
Yeah.
Or buying a Tesla in terms of safety.
Yeah.
So when you do that, it's like, but you're still you're still vulnerable to an attack like Pegasus.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something which is one in the whole world. There's no other Pegasus. There's no Pegasus-like software that does this. This is a different patented technology.
Yeah. It is patented?
I mean, I'm just throwing the word out there. I mean, I hope it's patented. I don't want multiple Pegasuses in the world.
I mean,
So the thing is like, this is a product and they sell it like it's on Amazon. The NSO group is like, we only sell it to the governments. Like, you created a malware that is supposed to hack into any phone you want to.
yeah.
Why are you taking a moral high ground as if you're just offering it to governments like it's a good thing?
Yeah.
You offering it to governments is the worst thing. Like, if you offered it to Mark Zuckerberg, he wouldn't do anything with it.
He must.
He would just send you relevant ads. If you offer it to the government, they can do anything they want to.
I mean, Mark Zuckerberg would already been there on the founding team of Pegasus. I don't know.
Mark Zuckerberg would be like, yeah, what is the new technology you want to sell me? This I know already.
So Mark, we created a virus that can do, that sends text on your behalf, tracks your call, and tracks your messages and WhatsApp and everything.
Mark is like, so you created Facebook now, huh?
So Facebook 2.0. Okay, I call that Facebook.
So are we talking technology now, huh?
Yeah. So it's just not about Pegasus, but let's come to cyber security as a general. Now, Instagram is controlled by
Facebook,
Zuckerberg, WhatsApp, Facebook itself.
Instagram DMs aren't even encrypted. So
yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Shit can go really down. I mean,
so WhatsApp is at least encrypted, but WhatsApp is always in the conversation when it comes to privacy.
Yeah.
It's always in the conversation. So
it's because it's widely used, right?
Yeah, but you can go to Signal, you can go to Telegram.
I mean, switching an app, you need a huge conversion.
You can go to iMessage. It's much safer than WhatsApp.
Yeah, I totally agree that iMessage is very much safe than WhatsApp. But again, for me to get to an iMessage server, I need someone else to own an iPhone first to get on that platform. So the conversion is very difficult because WhatsApp was the first player to enter and is the biggest. Just like YouTube.
Yeah.
You can't just stream off any other video from
YouTube just got to 10 billion downloads on the App Store.
Yeah, 10 billion.
10 billion. There are 7.9 billion people on the world, Earth.
And they reach 10 billion.
So, congratulations.
Yeah.
We love you.
We'll give you a button. First you give us one.
We love you. Love this platform.
Love you too. Thank you.
So, but I mean, Moxie Marlin Spike, the founder of Signal, he's been very vocal about this. I just admire the guy so much because he's running it like Wikipedia. He's like, if you want to help out, donate, please.
Yeah.
So he's not using ads. WhatsApp uses ads as its revenue
generation.
So they're not using ads. They're working as a non-profit, and their code is open sourced.
Yeah.
I mean, if you doubt something, you can go and check for yourself.
Yeah.
And they're doing this. People are hopping onto it, but it's not mainstream at this point.
Yeah.
Because again, the power that ads give WhatsApp is unmatched without that ad revenue model. That is why it's not catching on. Telegram, it catches on because they don't ask for your number.
Yeah.
You can just do anything you want to on the app. It's the Wild West.
Yeah.
Signal is not like that. Signal is supposed to be WhatsApp. And text message your family, message each other. But no, you won't use it because the other person doesn't use it. And what's his name? Moxie Marlin Spike basically was saying like, I mean, we can only hope. We can only create a better app. People need to realize. This is what the whole Tristan Harris's movie. I don't know, what was the social media movie? We are addicted to social media. The whole Netflix movie. Yeah. What was this movie?
Social media. It's on Netflix, guys.
मैंने
बोला भी था पिछले podcast में like.
So
previous ones.
So I mean, Tristan Harris has spoken about this since years.
Social dilemma.
Yeah, the social dilemma. So after Tristan Harris he became famous after the social dilemma came out. He's an ex-Google employee. He basically was the founder, part of the founder team of these algorithms.
Yeah.
But he's been speaking about this since a long time. Like, they know what to do, but they are focused on the addiction part. Like, they'll hook you on this. They want your attention and all that stuff for their ads, for their information. They're spying on you.
It's pretty fucked up.
It's not unknown information. I mean, people are like, I hear this argument a lot, like, देख लो हमारा फोन देख लो हमारा फोन क्या कर लोगे हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता देख लो. I mean, it's a very stupid argument if you think about it on a higher level.
Yeah, not so. That's what I was saying earlier, that 80% of the average Joe won't actually,
care
about somebody else looking inside their phones. I mean, I won't care. I mean, I need help in my texting game, but I won't care you watching. I'll say, man, drop some pointers to me. I'd be like that. But similarly, if I held an important position in an important corporation that deals in important stuffs involving the government and international bodies,
look, this could change this could change very easily, right? Right now we don't have a following. Tomorrow we woke up, we have 10,000 followers on YouTube. No, I'm just saying, like 10,000.
It will happen one day.
It will.
Affirmative.
So, but this can change. If we have 10,000 people following our content and we are talking about something, so we are a public image. Next day news comes out that Aayush has pedophilic nature.
What the fuck is wrong with you, भाई? सर भाई है तो मेरा यार. कुछ और मतलब कुछ
No.
ये रिलीज ही नहीं होना चाहिए.
So I'm just saying, for example, let's say Aayush sent a text to someone, or Aayush tweeted out something. Let's say someone hacks your. Someone goes into your Instagram. हम आ गए. So I'm just saying, like right now you have 100 people watching you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you have 10,000.
Yeah.
So now you're worried about your image.
Yeah.
I mean, someone could hack into your phone, spread out anything they want to, and then the next day you have to answer. People are attacking you. Society is after you. You're in news now.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is a motherfucking asshole. So this is very dangerous. I mean, there are a lot of people who have a certain degree of influence.
Yeah.
And it's not just government officials. I mean, this could destroy lives. It's as simple as that. I mean, if someone attacked us right now, we have 100 viewers, and some news came out that this guy in Delhi is doing something. I mean, we have families to answer to, we have friends to answer to, and we have a good amount of society to answer to.
Yeah.
So they can destroy our lives. So I understand you have nothing to hide, but that doesn't make you less vulnerable.
I mean, it's okay, but if you are really talking about public figures, so the stakes are quite different, is what I meant. Because for us right now, at this very moment, we have like 124 followers on Instagram.
Something like that.
Yeah, 124 followers.
क्या हो गया? खुश क्यों हो रहा है?
We'll break our own record. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my point right now here is that for us to be answerable to that chunk of people would be like very less, but for similarly a journalist or an important person, right? Just like you said, a public image would be a great chunk of people, and you're in news, just like you said. So, but again, not everybody is out there speaking in front of a camera, and not everybody is out there, actually caring about, what happens around them. So that concludes, I guess, a bigger mass of the entire population when compared with some of the people of society that are considered as public images.
I mean, look at this. But let's say some government has done this, because some government has.
It has, yeah.
Some government has.
Not government, but I personally...
the NSO group says governments.
I mean, what NSO says, I wouldn't believe it 100%.
So someone has.
Someone has,
So if you're a target of that organization, you're basically fucked. Because you don't have to do anything wrong to be in the wrong. They'll give you a lot of reasons while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
They'll plot a lot of plots and then fuck you up the next morning, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So if you're and this is scary if the Indian government has a part in this, because then there's no way you can live in the country. and say anything which will, be dangerous.
Yeah.
But even if the Indian government doesn't have a say at all, even more scarier. Because then the Indian government is a possible target as well.
Yeah. I mean, if the Indian government becomes a target of Pegasus, it's pretty fucked up.
So, I mean, someone has to do something about this, and we don't know who to question.
That's what I was saying, that we need to blame these corporations first. I mean, yeah, okay, so NSA Group did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, so Apple has to do something about this.
Yeah, Apple has to actually do so that no government could
look
actually
into
do
this. Someone look into this.
Yeah.
Like Indian engineers in the United States.
Yeah.
You
gotta do something. You gotta do something, man.
You have to better them up. Give them a challenge greater than they have right now. I mean, this is an infringement on your technology.
Exactly.
Someone is doing this so easily. Someone tapping into Jeff Bezos' phone.
I mean, Jeff Bezos would 100% use an iPhone, right? And if iOS was that, competent in avoiding viruses, it wouldn't have happened anyway. So, I mean, Mohammed bin Salman would have been also silent, and also Jeff Bezos, and this news would have never came out. But
and exactly, this is what Jamal Kashoggi was a perfect example of how dangerous Pegasus can be.
Yeah, man.
And
the man got killed for it.
I mean, so if you hasn't watched The Dissident, I highly recommend it. You won't be able to sleep for a night, but that's okay.
And it's not on Amazon Prime or on Netflix.
Yeah, because it's too volatile.
Yeah, and no streaming services picked it up.
Yeah,
because it is so politically, involved.
So basically, The Dissident is a movie directed by Brian Fogel,
but it is available on the internet.
Yeah, you know where to go.
You know what to do now.
So
1, 2, 3.
So it's directed by Brian Fogel, who was the director of Icarus.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched that is on Netflix. It was on it got on Netflix back when Netflix had a backbone.
Yeah.
There was a time like that. So so it is on Netflix. If you watch that is something else.
Yeah.
Like the movie Icarus. But then Dissident came around. I have watched it. It is just something else.
Yeah.
It is just something else. So those of you who don't know, Jamal Khashoggi was a Saudi Arabian dissident. He was a journalist. He was a Washington Post journalist. He went on to become a Washington Post journalist. Basically, what his story is, he was very close to the Saudi royal family.
Yeah.
Mohammed bin Salman is basically the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. He's the son, the nephew of the last king or the current king, and this is the family that's been ruling over the years. And he's the crown prince. He's not the one in charge, but he is in charge. Let's just put it that way. He's the one in charge right now. Jamal Khashoggi was very close to the family. He was part of their meetings. He was part of the group. And the way he went wrong was leave the family. Where he went wrong was
just like Dom Toretto would say, you don't leave the family.
Exactly. So he went on to Canada. Then he went on to the United States. He started criticizing the Saudi Arabian regime a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was warned, don't do it. Do not do it.
Yeah.
And he was warned, and he wanted good for the Saudi Arabian people.
Yeah.
He saw what the world was like in the United States, in Canada, in democratic countries. And he basically he was a journalist. So he wasn't even criticizing the government per se. He was almost advising them, don't do this. Mohammed bin Salman, he was a supporter. Like, it's great Mohammed bin Salman is promoting tourism. It's great that you're doing this. He praised it. But then he was like, don't force people, don't coerce people, don't spy on people.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it. And then if the Saudi government doesn't like you,
they end you.
Well, so part of the movie is this young guy called Omar Abdul Aziz.
Yeah.
He was basically a Saudi kid, and a lot of Saudi kids are sent out to countries like Canada, democratic countries of the West to study
Yeah.
in the hope that they'll come back
Yeah.
or not hope, in the condition that they'll come back,
Yeah.
and then work with the Saudi Arabian government, within
Yeah.
the Saudi Arabian government, and make policy and become a personality.
Yeah.
He was part of that. He went to Canada to study, found out democracy, and then didn't return. So basically, he started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's on right now. Omar Abdulaziz has a YouTube channel. He has some millions of subscribers. He started a YouTube channel and started criticizing the Saudi government. You can't do that. you need to have balls to do that.
Yeah.
Basically, what happened was, he went back to Saudi Arabia for some reason, and the next day his father got a phone call and said, can you come to some place? We want to meet your son, and we want to meet you guys. His dad said, get out of the country right now. Get out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So he took a flight, went to Canada, and of course he was saved there. But his brother is in jail till date,
Yeah.
back in Saudi Arabia. He doesn't know what happened to him. He hasn't contacted ever since he got the news that his brother was in jail. His family has been targeted, and he doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes to Saudi Arabia, he'll meet his fate very soon.
Yeah.
So he is basically a dissident, and he messaged Jamal Kashoggi, and Jamal Kashoggi basically praised him of the work he's doing,
Yeah.
and he basically said like Omar Abdulaziz gave Jamal Kashoggi hope. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
something to work to. We can do this. There are young people who are involved in this, criticism of the regime that's happening.
Yeah.
And Saudi government basically hasn't banned Twitter, but what they did was make a lot of bots, have a lot of people make fake Twitter accounts
And praise the government.
And praise the government.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
have hashtags that praise the government, like Mohammed bin Salman the King, hashtag #1 trending, #2 trending, #3 trending. And for the people of Saudi Arabia, that is the internet.
Yeah.
So that's how you change public opinion. Use Twitter. So what Omar Abdulaziz and team did, which involved Jamal Kashoggi, he was in the United States. He was working with the Washington Post, but he was in contact.
Yeah.
They created their own hashtags, and they decided to beat Saudi Arabian government in their own game.
Wow.
And it was a struggle at first, but eventually a point came that they were #1 trending in Saudi Arabia
Wow.
against the government. So that was a major threat to the Saudi Arabian government, because when that happened, Omar Abdulaziz is on the kill list right now. I mean, there was a scene in the documentary early on. Omar Abdulaziz is walking, typical documentary shot, like from the back. He's recording, the video is recording, and he's traveling somewhere in Toronto, and he shows his phone to the camera. There's a death threat on his text message, just arrived. Death threat, and the number is Canadian. The death threat came from a Canadian number. He's in Canada, and he's like, look at this. Okay. Okay. Continues working on the phone like it's nothing. It's a surreal movie. It's unbelievable.
Really
It's
gotta watch it
heartbreaking.
now.
It's heartbreaking. It's just won't leave you with any hope for the world.
Really gotta watch it.
What happened to Jamal Kashoggi is, they didn't kill him. They cut pieces of him
Yeah.
and took his head and hands back to Saudi Arabia and burnt the rest of it in Turkey with chicken. So people don't know. And this is what happened. With the basic, and this is on record. Like the Saudi Arabian embassy
Yeah.
in Turkey was bugged. So there are transcripts that Brian Fogel got hands on, and it's in the movie. And some United Nations representative is reading out the transcripts, and basically 15 people, a kill team was sent to Turkey as soon as they knew that Jamal Khashoggi is going to Turkey and will enter the Saudi Arabian embassy to get papers to get married. And the kill team was there. They went on a private jet,
Yeah.
and as soon as he entered the embassy, They took him to a room and they were basically talking back and forth. They were communicating with the Saudi Arabian government at the point during the time, and it was Mohammed bin Salman there.
Whoa.
And he basically orchestrated this. And the Turkish police wasn't allowed to enter the embassy for, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours. They were not allowed to enter. This is happening inside Turkey. And the Turkey government did a fantastic job covering this. They basically found out anything and everything they could find. They did an absolute amazing job. And the transcripts are out there. They found out where they went. They basically took his body to some, what is the highest official called in an embassy?
Yeah.
So he has a house in the country, right? So they basically took him to that consul member. They took his body to that house, burnt it with chicken there. So people think that they're having a barbecue grill. So they don't suspect. They've digged into that and found evidence. Everything is out and nobody is doing anything about it. This was a Saudi American journalist. So he was part American. He's an American citizen working for the Washington Post.
Was he still an American citizen while asking papers in the Saudi Arabian embassy?
He wanted papers because he was Saudi citizen, I guess.
Yeah.
So he wanted papers for his marriage. And he went in and his wife was standing outside. He basically...
Holy fuck.
I mean, he basically said, stand here, I'm just getting the papers. Just a normal day in his life.
That's sad. I mean, you don't want that to happen to you, do you?
So, I mean, and Jamal Kashoggi was a famous journalist, 1.2 something million.
So this is one of the stories that, that makes Pegasus virus a big thing.
The point we were coming out to is, how did the Saudi government know that he was going to the Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey? Pegasus spyware was installed on Omar Abdulaziz's phone.
Yeah.
On the request of Mohammed bin Salman. Jamal Kashoggi communicated with Omar that I'm going to get married. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
There's text in the movie and everything is good. He was very in high spirits. I mean, he was getting married.
Yeah.
So that is how they knew that he'll go.
The man who never got married.
I mean, that is how they knew. So
it's pretty sad to see that, a high profile journalist, that could have acted as a revolution or a catalyst in the revolution in the Saudi.
Omar Abdulaziz has a YouTube channel right now. He covers everything in Arabic. What's the language? Arabic.
Yeah, Arabic.
So you can't understand anything about it, but he's doing something.
He's doing his bit.
More. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, to see what.
If I was in his position, I wouldn't do it.
What one of my close ones suffered a grill with chicken.
Close ones suffered. His brother is in jail. He's probably killed.
Yeah.
So
I won't do that.
So
nobody would do that. I mean, big thumbs up to you, Omar. I mean, I hope you watch this someday. With subtitles on in Arabic.
Unbelievable. He's a Canadian. He knows English full on.
Alright, fair. Okay, Omar, so you can understand us. Yeah. Got you, bro.
No, we haven't. We don't have any power.
बहुत बैक है तेरे भाई जी. बहुत बैक है दिल्ली का.
Yeah, so Mohammed bin Salman will come after you. Will say, तू जानता है मेरा बाप कौन है?
Saudi का राजा.
So this is, and the most disheartening part was when Brian Fogel basically had to come on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other way to promote. There's no better way to promote it.
This is where internet is the biggest boon to humanity.
I mean, the balls that Joe Rogan has.
Yeah, to get him.
And
not get cancelled at the same time. That's
the balls that Joe Rogan has. He called Brian Fogel and talked about Russia as well as Saudi Arabia. So
yeah, that's pretty ballsy move. And
because Joe Rogan is much more famous than
all these guys. Brian Fogel, and of course, people might have heard about Joe Rogan, but not Brian Fogel. He's a great director. Covers pretty dope topics. But again, let's come to the generic point.
Definitely has a death fish.
Let's come to a generic point that what we were talking about was cyber security, and so this is where internet acts as a great thing for humans out there, by providing us the means to communicate or the means to spread awareness, to act as a revolution or a catalyst in revolution happening in or outside your country. I mean, this is very powerful. I mean, you might not understand it right now, but watch The Dissident, the movie, and you might understand then. Alright, so this is the power of the internet, and then there is Israel exploiting the power of the internet. Alright, so this problem needs to be tackled, right? Every great thing has its own shortcomings. Right? There are always two sides to a coin. But who is to be blamed? Who do we point our fingers to, or do we not? When you point someone, three fingers are always
This is the craziest thing about this problem, because we don't know who to blame.
I mean,
we don't know.
We just know. I mean, the fact that we know that there is this group called NSO who gave us this virus and who sold this virus, and we still can't do anything about NSO because the fact that they're so powerful than an entire nation. I mean, that group is very powerful. They can blackmail the shit out of important people with Pegasus.
Of course, and they do. That is why nobody is doing anything.
That is why nobody is doing it.
I mean, if they didn't exert political power on governments, they would cease to exist.
I mean, so in one aspect, the Prime Minister or the President of Israel is practically or virtually more powerful than anyone on this earth.
Of course he is.
I mean, what the fuck is Forbes doing with Powerman 2021? I mean, get President of Israel on top, man.
I mean, they've slowly and surely just captured a whole country.
Yeah.
In front of our eyes. And made a friendly brother, peaceful brother image all throughout the whole time.
Yeah, the younger brother of every country, Israel.
I mean, they've done it in front of our eyes and nobody's doing anything about it. It's a war. I mean, Obama is involved in war crime.
Yeah.
He basically had relations with Israel.
Yeah.
He basically attacked Yemen.
Yeah.
Drone strikes to Yemen is a very famous thing.
For drones.
So
I mean, you don't test your drone, you send it to Yemen.
Okay. Yemen is such a sad. I mean, we used to speak of Yemen when we were playing Atlas.
Yeah.
And then that conversation went to Yemen is not a country anymore. You can't say the name. So, US did that because Israel
wanted it.
Unbelievable power. I mean, who has US to look after? Iraq? No way. Iran? No way.
Not happening.
Saudi Arabia?
Somewhat.
I don't think so. Bin Laden family doesn't like Saudi the Americans for sure. So, who did they look up to? Palestine? No way. No. There's no Palestine anymore.
Powerless country.
So they look up to Israel. What else they can do? And Israel is so powerful. It's basically surrounded by enemies.
Yeah, and still nobody
does anything about it.
Yeah.
And that's how powerful Israel is.
Israel, I guess, is the only country that has, like, every Middle Eastern or Gulf country is an enemy to Israel, but Israel has all European friends, all American friends, and all Asian friends, but just not friends in it. He's like that kid in the class that doesn't have friends in his own class, but the other sections knows him pretty well.
He's a resources kid, Yeah. Nobody can touch me. Yeah. You don't know me, son.
Yeah.
the Don kid.
Yeah. अपनी class में किसी से नहीं बनती, बाहर से बनती है.
No. He's the kid who has big brothers in the school.
Yeah.
So nobody can touch him.
Yeah.
But he's a fucker.
He likes to mess shit up.
Israel is that kid, Yeah. He beats everyone up around him. When you come to touch him, he has big brothers protecting him.
We all know that kid from our school, right?
So, I mean, it's out in the open and still nobody does about it. That's the most disheartening thing.
That's a tragedy in itself.
If Pegasus wasn't there, Jamal Kashoggi would be alive right now.
Yeah. If Pegasus wouldn't have been there, Rahul Gandhi would have been safe. but our national.
I want to know if he really watches Chhota Bheem or not. Like, I mean, NSO Group owes us this much.
I mean,
If you have
okay,
tapped
so
into-
let me put this. I want Pegasus on Raj Kundra's phone right now. I don't know why. I want it right now.
Raj Kundra.
I want to see what that fucker was up to with 118 porn films on his phone. I mean, which phone has the capacity? I mean, is that a 1 TB phone? Okay, so let's just assume that was 320p. But that's not porn anymore. I mean, that's J-pop.
I want
with all the blurry things.
Raj Kundra attacked with Pegasus.
Yes, I want that to happen. I want it to be leaked. भेजो link भाई राज link भेजो drive बनाओ राज भाई मतलब राज कुंद्रा के phone की we need a drive. Okay, so we all know Raj Kundra was on pornographic content and he's been he's in trials and he's in jail at the moment. He's into the police custody. Okay, so a lot of proof has been collected. So dear NSO group, I found my
Issued in public interest. If you want,
I fold my hands in front of you to please attack Mr. Raj Kundra's phone with Pegasus and share the link. बहुत दुआएं मिलेंगी.
we only want the homework folder.
that 70 GB homework folder. We only want that. Please, NSO group, we are listening. We want this to happen.
The Jews won't do it.
Yeah.
The Jews won't do it.
रख लो अपने पास. देखो पहले तुम देख लो यार, हमें जल्दी नहीं है, बट लिंक दे देना बाद में. काफी भाई, मतलब मैं तो चाहता हूँ भाई, फन हो जाएगा भाई.
Okay. I mean, have something positive and give something positive to the society to look up.
Yeah, exactly. For the, it has a lot of benefits, Male health benefits, female health benefits. I mean, guys not being sexually frustrated anymore. See, models. Okay, so Indian pornographic industry is being struggling. Alt Balaji is doing nothing about it. They're just a small spark.
People like Raj Kundra are the needle movers.
Yeah.
They're the hope of the future.
Yeah, okay, so with these comments, we do not promote any sexual trafficking, okay? So we don't want people to attack us that, we're so inhuman or desensitized.
No, we're making fun of Raj Kundra.
At the moment. But deep down inside, we all know what we want.
It's just that news is a circus.
Yeah.
Because
And it's the circus I want to be a part of.
it's like Bill Gates, Melinda Gates. It's
Yeah.
like Shilpa Shetty has this image
Yeah.
of, do yoga.
Yeah.
Have positivity in life. As if you didn't know what your husband is up to. He gets caught in Rajasthan Royals match fixing.
Match fixing game.
He gets caught in pornographic content. I mean, do you not know your husband? Who are you living your
Even
life with?
he has some cases in London as well. He was accused of some money laundering in London as well. So I mean, Raj. Big fan, sir. Big fan. भाई Pegasus डालो यार.
Oh.
इतने millions of dollars. I mean, the industry is struggling. We need Raj Kundra. The Hugh Hefner. I mean, Raj, where is our mansion? Come on, we need to see it. We need to see those bunnies. Those Indian bunnies. I mean,
Unbelievable.
I mean, how serious this conversation was from an important journalist getting cut into pieces because of Pegasus, now requesting the NSO group to have Pegasus on Raj Kundra.
I mean, it's just that story is a comic book in its own. I mean, who is surprised by this? Who is surprised?
I was surprised about, finding out that there is some millionaire guy out there helping the industry to take big leaps ahead. So I was happy, but at the same time I was sad as well. I was happy because fuck this, the fucker. He might have been molesting someone okay, so that's the bad part. That's the bad part. Okay, so you molest someone or you talk shit about someone. That's the bad part. Okay, but with consent.
What consent? I mean, it's like.
And a studio in Canada? I mean, you can do wonders for the Indian guys out there. I mean, we are struggling, man.
It's like the thing that infuriates me the most is Raj Kundra is a person who all of us know who he is.
Yeah.
And still manages to walk in society as if he's he's an elite businessman. It's only business. He's a great businessman.
Yeah.
And you got caught in match fixing.
Yeah.
You got caught in money laundering. You got caught in shooting pornographic content. And Shilpa Shetty still has her PR team on point.
Yeah.
So much so that nobody's still pointing finger. I mean, you can't blame the wife for the actions of the husband. I understand
Definitely
that.
two entities.
But there's no way she didn't know about it. There's no way that she didn't know about this or what Raj Kundra was up to. And she still manages to do yoga and have a positive message and do
even Shilpa Shetty has this new movie release coming up. So she tweeted that I request all my fans not to boycott this movie as this is solely my work and not any of my husband's work involved in it. I mean, it's me. It's not Raj Kundra, it's Shilpa Shetty.
We get it, but you share the bed with the person.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
somewhere.
I mean, Donald Trump's wife can't come out and say, I'm a Democrat.
Yeah.
I respect women.
Yeah.
I don't care about my husband's opinion.
Yeah.
This cannot you can't separate a relation like you share the bed at night.
Yeah. And I mean, how long have they been
So it's not
married
like,
for?
okay, you are not a part of the business, you are not earning money out of it. Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But it's not like you didn't know about it, but you're still living with the person.
Yeah.
So what does that say about you?
I mean, you knowing this and then staying silent, I mean, that's
of course you know. I mean, your
that's
husband.
a big.
Your husband,
that's
the person you live with, shoots pornographic content.
Yeah. Or maybe, I guess there might be a
How do you
slightest of
not
chance.
know?
Maybe there might be a slightest of chance. I mean, she won't know about it.
How?
I mean, you look at that guy. I mean, he travels a lot. I don't think so. Shilpa would follow him everywhere.
Okay, she didn't know about the match fixing part. She was the proud owner of Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah. She used to boast with that tag.
So she did not know about that, or she did not know about money laundering. She did not know about pornography content. I don't know how. 180 movies you said?
Yeah.
How is that? How are you supposed to hide that?
Raj, we need that hard disk. At all costs. Raj, I demand. NSO group, I demand you to install Pegasus.
Infringe that, man.
I'll start a petition on change.org. I'll start a petition. NSO group, please. We have a guy here in India that needs your hacking.
So that is, I have zero sympathy for him, zero sympathy for Shilpa Shetty
as well.
Zero sympathy for anyone related to the guy.
Yeah.
Because they know what he's up to.
Yeah.
And then he cannot work alone. I mean, Osama bin Laden working on a bomb, and the whole family is like, we didn't know.
Yeah.
We had no idea. Fuck no, you didn't. So you can't separate that. But coming back to NSO group and Pegasus spyware.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, like this phrase was very famous last week, you can run but you can't hide.
Yeah.
And we are using an iPhone to record this right now.
Yes.
So,
that's very fucked up.
What do you do?
2 iPhones now.
What do you do? Who do you blame? Someone has to come out with something.
Something, yeah.
I mean, if the government saying we didn't do it, doesn't help. It does not help.
Corporations need to work it out. I mean, if
the government needs to push corporations for God's sake.
Yeah. Now the government needs to pursue the corporations because in the end, it's the software is a corporation's intellectual owner.
To say
property.
that this is an international agenda to target us as Ravi Shankar Prasad did, it's a very childish response. It's childish. I mean, what are you doing? Okay, you didn't do it, but do something about it. Why are you clearing your name as if, we don't blame us, we didn't do anything, we didn't have a hand. Yeah, but your own citizens were hacked. Your own 2 cabinet ministers were hacked.
Work about it, yeah.
Ex-CJI was hacked.
Yeah.
So you have big reasons to worry. So why are you clearing out your
Everybody
name?
has big reasons to worry. Now, not just with Pegasus. I mean, guys, come on. There are a lot of ransomwares as well. My dad, we are interested in crypto, so my dad once shared me that there is this
Meanwhile, we are crypto evangelists. I'm an evangelist at this point.
Thou shall pump but not dump.
I'm not just an investor. Okay, I am an investor. I have
Money
invested in this.
dying money every day.
But I am. I love the industry. I love what it's doing, and it's not like we are doing something in secret, or we're doing something we don't need to talk about. Sandeep Nelwal and JD and these guys are founders of Matic. These are homegrown Indians. And they're billionaires right now. I mean, Matic has a trade volume of $14 billion at the point. $15 billion. We are proud to have them. They are Indians. Samay and Somak, founders of Instadap, are Indians.
Yeah, two guys, man. I mean, brothers.
So, this is an industry that's growing. Indians coming to the industry will be the final approval point, because that's how technology works.
I mean,
the West adopts it, then they give it to the Indians. Take
it forward,
and we run with it. This is how it works, and this is how it's been going for the last 7 years.
Look at the PLC of Google. Look at the PLC of Microsoft. Product life cycle. I mean, it's always there's this white guy starting it. And it is grown by some other white guy, and then they hand it over to a brown guy.
What a wonderful week to talk about it. Zomato IPO.
Yeah.
Zomato, Paytm, Oyo. Oyo was destined to succeed.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Zomato, Oyo, Flipkart, Zerodha. I mean, Upstocks, Grow,
CoinSwitch, Kuber.
This is WazirX. CryptoBiz now, a new platform. There's no way. There's no walking around the part that when Indians get involved in this, they run with it.
And they run
and
super
slowly
fast.
And surely, this crypto technology is here to take over the world.
It is here to
stay. The best thing that the government of India can do is to bring these guys in. Talk with them. Talk with them and work around it. That's the. I mean, you banning.
They won't ban.
Nawal Ravikant had the best quote to summarize the whole government's banning crypto. His quote was, yes, China did ban Bitcoin, but China also banned the internet. So what do you expect? I mean, so if the Indian government likes the internet, the Indian government has to work with cryptocurrency. And not just cryptocurrency, they have to work with blockchain technology. And these new financial systems, these new protocols, decentralized finance, they have to work around.
And I guess this is Web 3.0 with blockchain.
So Web 3.0 is here and it's going to happen
real soon.
And this is a direct, a very good counter to these hacks, to these. I mean, how do you work around privacy issues? Decentralization. So I mean, there's
a lot of things.
More proof that this is the future.
There are a lot of things to talk about decentralization and its regime with privacy, but it's a very big topic. I really want to touch it, but
that's how you work around it.
And
the Pegasus thing is scary. It's scary.
Pegasus is scary.
Someone has to do something about this.
Government, corporations, anything. I mean, let me ask you this one question in the end. How much do you value yourself? Because in the end, Pegasus is selling you to someone else. With you physically being here, but of course, your know-abouts, your wheres, your calls, your intentions, we are
cyborgs.
We are
cyborgs.
Cyborgs, exactly.
So, someone hacking your phone is basically hacking you.
And so, what value do you give to yourself? That's to you.
If someone can manipulate your internet personality, that'll come to you in the real world.
And
there's
that's
no
gonna
walking
fuck you
around
up.
that fact.
That's gonna fuck you up real bad. I mean, internet. We're all on internet. You listening to this podcast is symbolic.
If someone what's the technology? Deepfake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Face phishing. Like
Face phishing. Yeah. If someone made a video, like you have seen those videos,
Yeah,
fake
yeah,
videos,
yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg talking like he's not talking, but it looks like he's
seems
talking.
Like, it's pretty real, man.
Yeah. So
I
if
mean,
that can happen.
Yeah, I'm
And
getting
that-
scared.
So yeah, that deep fake happens, and you blame the person who's the victim here.
Yeah.
So if your internet personality is manipulated, you are manipulated.
And the repercussions are real bad for what's gonna happen.
So yeah, I'm getting a Nokia phone, I guess.
And I'm getting a radio for myself.
Walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie. Come in, Charlie, come in.
Pager लेने वाला.
So we are switching back to
Yeah,
the ways.
progressing but backwards.
Backwards, yeah. Any motion is not forward always. This motion is forward but in backwards.
Yeah, use Signal.
Or use Telegram.
Yeah, okay.
With that, that's it. Thank you so much for joining us today and investing your valuable time with Slippery Slopes podcast. And we hope to see you again next weekend, same time, same place. Love you all.
On your smartphones.
On your smartphone. Bye-bye.